help me plant my corn. Right? Will you help me? Oh, me? Oh, no. We all got belly aches. Oh, right, Tutu? Right, Tutu?
I don't usually go out this late at night to the place where the animals go. But baby, I'm here and I'm watching you move. There's just one thing you should know. Girl, you are my fire, only true desire. Swear I'm not a liar, you should dance with me. You should get to know me. Kick it with the hobbies. Let go of your worries, you should dance with me.
Alright, so I may have mentioned this before in some of my past videos, but I'm not sure I went into depth on the topic very much, but you can see behind me I have a couple of absolutely beautiful pigs. There's 3. There's our little baby, Sue Ellen in there too. And these guys have pretty much eaten all the grass that's in their pasture, and they leave some of the weeds and things like that. So I want to point out one of the cooler things about the pig pen. Come this way. Hi. So check out these tomatillo plants right here. You can tell, I mean, Susu is right here. Come here, baby. Come here. Come here. Come here. Did you grow these tomatillas? Did you grow these tomatillas? Yeah, you did, didn't you? These tomatillas either reseeded themselves from a past year, or we gave some tomatillas to pigs and they pooped some seeds out that weren't digested. And this is what happened. They have been growing tomatillas for the entire summer and they haven't been eating them. And that's the strange part, and that's the part I want to share with you as they eat the tomatillas right now. So look in here. I mean, these tomatillo plants are really nice, and there's this is a purple tomatillo right here. Nothing wrong with it. Don't ruin them right now, Susu, in the middle of the video. Yeah, see, she did not want that. Okay, but let's not ruin them. Let's come out here. Come here, Susu. But these are all of these are tomatillo plants. Here, here, here. Some of them are ground cherries. There's a ground cherry plant over there.
Tomatoes.
And yeah, and there's also tomato plants as well. There's another tomatillo. There's a tomatillo. Here's a tomatillo. This one looks nice. This is a purple tomatillo plant right here. They have any interest in any of the food that they've grown themselves, which is just kind of crazy. I even noticed a tomato plant with actual tomatoes on it the other day. Is it that one? Oh yeah. And check this out. Now, this fence is separating the pigs from the goats and the cows in the back pasture, so the cows and the goats and the donkeys could come up here and also eat these tomatoes that are right on the other side here, but they don't. So I don't know if it's something about the fact that they planted it themselves or if they don't know it's there. It's just really confusing. But then stuff gets really kind of crazy when we go out to the bigger pasture. So follow me out here. This is our bigger pasture. It's our back pasture. And this is where we can safely keep our cattle and our donkeys and our goats. It's really secure. The electric fences are always on. They can't escape this pasture. And in the past, we've seen little tiny squash or watermelon or cucumber sprouts come out of a poop pile. And that's because...
Tomato.
Huh? And that's because the cows don't chew extremely thoroughly, and they will pass through their system whole seeds, and these whole seeds will germinate inside a pile of poop. Here's one. Here's another plant right here in the pasture. It's a tomato plant, and again, no one is eating it. But this is going to blow your mind when you see what's out here. This has been a good year for grass and for rain and for the pasture to grow in general. So we haven't really had to supplement a lot of food for the animals. And but there's actually a lot of growth with some of the weeds and things because they don't necessarily they're not necessarily eating all of it. But we noticed in the beginning of spring that there were some plants that were growing in the pasture, and they're squash plants, and they're pumpkins, and they're cucumbers, and here we got some friends coming to say hi. Hi, Minnie. Hello. We came to see your squash and pumpkin plants, may we? You were the one that probably did it. Did you plant some squashy plants for us? Well, let's go take a peek at them. Now, we've done nothing to these plants. We haven't obviously needed to fertilize them. We haven't watered them extra. We haven't weeded them. We haven't done anything. But they've really, this year, grown really big. This one, I don't really know what it is. There's not really any fruit on it just yet. But there's the potential blossoms coming out. And you can see my goat just did not want anything to do with that. And these are definitely edible. And the whole reason that these plants are in here right now is because they ate these plants in the first place. So we know that they like them. This looks like a cucumber or melon to me of some sort. Also beautiful. Here's another tomato plant right here. It's growing great. And then we start getting into the really neat looking stuff. Like this squash plant here is doing amazing. But how in the world did it get this big without any of my animals eating it? And how have they missed this stuff the whole time? Look at this. Can you see this thing? That's huge. It's huge. Here's another one.
Looks like a spaghetti
growing
squash.
over here.
Think it's spaghetti squash?
I guess it could be a spaghetti squash, but I mean they're literally all over the place. And they've never touched them. The special thing about this particular pumpkin is that it's a duplicate of another pumpkin that the cows also grew. And we sent that pumpkin to some friends of ours that are also YouTubers in Chicago. James and Laurent's World's Travels, this is where your pumpkin was born, right here in this cow field. And one of those 4 guys over there are the ones that grew it. So that's the story of the white pumpkin and how it got to you. And I'm going to leave a link to James and Laurent's video in the description box. And they just celebrated their 2,000th subscriber special, and it was about our farm products that we sent to them. We sent them some honey and some maple syrup and some jam, and I also sent them one of these pumpkins. So now they'll have a better understanding of where it came from. Make sure you guys check out that video because it's super funny. The end is hilarious. We were in stitches the whole entire time. It's a great channel. I love this channel because for people like myself who farm and are really stuck to our homes, we do not get to travel very much. We consider a trip to Plymouth, which is about 20 miles away, a big city trip, and so that's not a joke. And so we don't get to go to cool places like France or Tasmania or Greece. And James and Laurent get to go to all of these places, and they share them with you on their YouTube channel, so check them out. I doubt that we have found all of the plants that these guys have grown out here this year, and I'm really excited to see what mutants will be coming out of all of these plants. It's going to be kind of neat to see how big they get and whether or not the animals eat them. But at this moment, I'm going to say that they're not going to, because there's no way. I mean, how did they just not step on them? So confused. Mimi! Mimi kitty, come here! Gosh darn it, look at this thing. Alright, I'm right here, buddy. Don't kick me. Okay. Alright, that's my video for today, you guys. I have no idea why the animals aren't eating these delicious squashes, but that's my life right there. I have no idea what I'm doing most of the time. So, from Brexit, from me, from the whole entire farm, thanks so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe, and don't forget to watch James and Laurent's video with the link in the description. Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks you guys so much for watching the channel. Please subscribe if you haven't already so that you can